Once again, good morning. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to Trinidad and Tobago. Once again to this two-day workshop on exploring innovation in transactions and financing in the Caribbean too. On behalf of the International Telecommunications Union, I'd also like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to the government of Trinidad and Tobago for hosting this event with us and in partnership with the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, the Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago, and the Economic Commission for Latin America for their commitment and tremendous support to make this event a success. As you would have heard from one of the previous speakers, almost 1 year ago, we met right here in Port of Spain to discuss this very topic. At that time, the emphasis was on awareness building and dialogue, collaboration, facilitation in the areas of financial technology, Fintech, and digital financial services. The appetite for information on this topic was peaked and remained high among the audience at the time. It was noted that further intervention and dissemination of knowledge were required, and caution was expressed that the Caribbean could potentially be left out of experiencing advantages associated with such innovation due to more pressing areas of concern, which limits funding into a proper exploration of the same. As a next step, a couple recommendations are worth mentioning once again. Some of us may recall that there was the recommendation that the Caribbean should consider a regulatory approach which facilitates increased market competition and the development of an enabling ecosystem that encourage the creation of value-added services which could tap into new financial services. Secondly, there was also the recommendation, among others, that the region should develop a regional M-Money task force and plan of action through CTU as a CARICOM agency and in collaboration with the ITU focus group on digital financial services and the UN ECLAC. While there have been some progress over the year, we still have today more than 2 billion people still remaining outside of the formal financial system. Over 80% of all transactions are still conducted using cash. And in a number of quarters in the Caribbean, the challenge on DFS remain and are substantially the same. That is, the lack of clear policies, security, and fraud prevention, limited or no regulations, limited cooperation among financial and international institutions, and law enforcement. Using agents and digital channels for financial transaction can lower costs. And as Dr. Malilu indicated, as much as 90% compared to similar transactions conducted in physical branches of financial service providers. As a result, DFS provides both banks and non-banks, they can afford financial services profitably in areas where bank branches and automated teller machines are not viable to consumers who have historically been unprofitable to serve. Today, internationally, Girls in ICT Day is celebrated around the world, and hundreds of events showcasing technological skills of girls and young women are being organized. The day highlights the value of women in the field of information and communication technology and seeks to encourage more girls to plan for a career in this expanding field. The day is organized annually by the ITU. I want to extend a warm and happy Girls in ICT Day to all women. In Geneva, the girls already, 6 hours ahead of us, demonstrated new digital skills they learned in activities leading up to the Girls in ICT Day, and had the opportunity to meet women mentors from the tech sector. In Vilnius, Lithuania, the girls enjoyed robotic workshop practical demonstrations of virtual and augmented reality, and witnessed a presentation of winning projects from the country's biggest annual robotic and technology competition. Ladies and gentlemen, in the Caribbean, more than 90 young female coders will take part in a regional hackathon event sponsored by Cotton Tree Consulting and Change Makers Development Limited. Throughout the day, in other countries in the region, young women will also be engaged in hands-on activities guided by tech mentors that use ICT to create, innovate, and generate solutions to various challenges. Meanwhile, financial technology, Fintech firms are digitalizing paper-based transaction data to identify potential demand for financial services such as credit, saving, and insurance. We have seen successful money transfer companies making more and more strides in the sector, such as M-Pesa, Asimo, NerdWallet, Halo, and the likes, and other such opportunities where financial services have become available at affordable cost to people around the world. These companies have enabled millions of people, including women, in rural and remote areas in the poorest parts of the world to gain access to business opportunities and help take control of their economic lives. ITU, as a multi-stakeholder group with representation from the governments of over 193 countries around the world, is working towards developing a code of practice for regulators, especially for those in developing countries, with a view to create a level playing field that will enable stakeholders to engage in mobile money services. We have established the Task Force on Mobile Money for Emerging Economies with stakeholders such as GSMA, the World Bank, the Gates Foundation, and many others. We have established that focus group. I'm pleased to announce that after 2 years of extensive consultation, the ITU Focus Group on Digital Finances in March, just a month or so ago, announced that it has concluded its work with the publication of 85 policy recommendations and 28 supporting thematic reports. The focus group brought together more than 60 organizations from over 30 countries to drive greater financial inclusion for the estimated 2 billion people around the world who remain unbanked. Those policies cover a number of areas which can be useful to many of us who are looking to identify digital issues. As I close, I just want to remind ourselves that this is a practical toolkit that can be adapted to local needs. I'm very happy today that we are continuing our dialogue that provides ICT and financial sectors with an opportunity to meet, share views once again and experiences, and identify good practices. But together, we can make it happen. We have to move away from a lot of the discussion and move from theory to implementation. I'm hopeful that we, at the end of the 2-day event, would be much closer to realizing the benefits of digital financing through quick implementation in the region. Thank you so much.